Hi, today we can learn about JavaScript and it's the practical session, and we're going to do about 5 programs to introduce JavaScript to our web design course. The very first program is meant to include JavaScript in an HTML file. Now, what usually happens is that before you include any script in an HTML document, you're supposed to use the script tags, and right into the script tag, you're supposed to specify what type of script you're going to use in your HTML document. Like in our case, we are going to use JavaScript. So right inside the script tag, opening tag, you'd mention that the language you're going to use is JavaScript. And then it happens that not all browsers would process JavaScript or accept JavaScript embedded documents, and in such documents you might want to hide the scripts from those browsers, and we are going to see how that is done. And then at the end of the day, we should be able to output a JavaScript statement that would show us that it is working right inside an HTML file. We're going to use our software Visual Studio Code to illustrate this very first concept. So the very first thing we are going to do is to save our document and give it a name. I'm going to give the names to our programs as JS1, JS2, etc., meaning JavaScript 1, JavaScript 2, as we proceed. So we go to File, and then you can type Save, and then once you save, alright, thank you, we are here, so we need to give it a good name. Save us. So it's js1.html. there we are. So right inside our class recording folder, right on the desktop, we are going to run the programs right inside there. So our very first program is to include a JavaScript program in an HTML document. I'll be quite fast, but I hope we will follow. So that's the HTML, which must always be there. Okay, title, here we can have JavaScript exercise. There we are. And this script we've talked about needs to come right inside the body of our work. We'll talk about that one later, because last class we mentioned that it can either come on the heading or on the body of our class. So right inside the body we can have our titles, say welcome to Computing Sciences Department, and then right after this we can now specify. So this is our script, but then right here in the opening script we can specify the language, and then we can say it's JavaScript. So the compiler will, the interpreter, the system will just know that this is a JavaScript that is being embedded. And right inside here we are going to have a very fast statement. It's documented right, and then we can say right inside this right method, hello world, I am learning JavaScript and it is working. Right, that is what is happening. Right here we can have our break so that we can have this come to the second level. Now once this is done, you can again save if you want, and then we can go right into our folder and see whether the software can run on our web browser. So inside class recordings, we'll also have web on this side, then JavaScript, and then class, and then we have our JS1 right here. We can load it, and there we are. We are glad that our very first program is running right on the web browser. We have welcome to Computer Science Department, hello world, I am learning JavaScript and it's working. So this is a very first program. The second programmer is similar to the first one, and it includes a few more tags, HTML tags, and in this case we want to output a JavaScript statement inside an HTML document. We've done that, and now we are adding a few HTML tags in the JavaScript. We can add these emphases or the bold, or we can center some mark, or we can put headers and other tags that are used in text formatting. Now let's go and do our second program. Our second programmer, I'll just come right here and double click here. We're already here, and then we can save the second programmer as js2.html. So once that is done, we can start editing, and we'll make sure that we can add one or two of these tags inside there. So HTML, there we go, to the very first thing, and then the head is there, and then title, then we can set that JavaScript, script exercise 1. Now that's a very fast exercise, and remember that just right after the head we can have our body, and it's right into the body that we are going to have our script. But right here we can still say h1 that welcome to our university of the 21st century, or the 21st century, something close to that. Now once that is done, we can now call our script, and right inside the script here we say that the language is JavaScript. There we go. Now all the JavaScript will come right inside here. Now what is going to happen now is this: we need to understand that when some of the browsers are not processing JavaScript, then we need to hide these elements from being displayed. And one of the ways in which we do that is by using this symbol. Once you have it, anything that would come inside here would be hidden. So in this case, let me just do this, and then right here that this is a hide the scripts from other browsers, and then right at the bottom here we can have a double quote for single line, which can help us to what, to stop hiding. Once we get past this, we'll stop hiding all the information here. So right here it's stop hiding from other browsers, So right here we want to add one or two HTML tags, and that is being done now. So once that is done, we can have a document.write. There we go, and we can say right inside this is how we use the HTML tags in JavaScript. These texts are bold. So what happens if you want to add a tag, you can just add it right inside that statement. So you can just put a B like that, and then make sure you put it at the end here. You close that tag like that. Right, let me just have it inside the quotation marks. There you are. There we are. Now this is how we use tags in JavaScript. This is how we use HTML tags in JavaScript. Now let's save this one. It's already saved, and then we can go to our folder and see whether our JS2 is here. There, we'll click it. Okay, it says this is how we use HTML tags, and these texts are bold, and for sure they are bold. What I want to do is try one or two other tags and see if they can work here. Now we can put this one to be H2 and see what's gonna happen. H2, save, come here. Aha, it has of course behaved. So you can even come here and you put another tag like this, em HTML tags in JavaScript, and then right here em, and you close this tag like that. And then you can save that one and see if anybody is going to come. Oh, this has been emphasized, and it's now in italics. So that shows that HTML tags can work very well inside a JavaScript document or a JavaScript code. So that is very, very important. Now we can use some other tags like H1, B, and then we can also center our work. Let's see how we can center this work. We can even just come here and say right here document.write. There we are, and then we can have this centered right here, center like that. And then this is our second program, and then once that is done like that, we can save, and then we can refresh and see if anything is coming up here. Okay, this is centered with respect to the whole page, and this shows that for sure we can use some of these HTML tags very well right inside the JavaScript statements. Now, our very third program is all talking about special characters. Now, special characters are very important, and they always help us represent some of the characters that cannot be typed on the computer. And a good example is you cannot type a new line, you cannot type a backspace, you cannot type a form feed or a carriage in or a tab, and many other situations. So what usually happens they are represented with a backslash and a single character. For example, in this case we have \n meaning a new line, meaning that when the system gets this character, it will display the next information in a new line. Or if it gets a \tab, it will tab the work that is going to be typed or presented. So that's how it happens, and we can see how this appears in a program. Let's have a third programmer representing these special characters in JavaScript. Right here, I'm going just to type like this, and then I'll just save as, I can say, js3.html. Now, once that is done, I can start typing and seeing if everything is fine. Okay, let's have a look what's happening here. Okay, HTML, there we go. Title, there we go, and then we can have sorry, even for the title, it's supposed to have a head, come in, head, and then title, and then we can say JavaScript exercise number 4. This is number 3, okay, but it's number 4. Okay, we can have it as number 3, and then right after this we can come to our body, and then we would now talk about the script, and then we can state the type of script that we are using. It's JavaScript, and then right after that we need to understand that when we are using escape sequence characters, I didn't mention it here, we are supposed to enclose them within this tag, the pre-formatting tag or the pre-tags. So make sure you don't forget that. So right inside here, before we start doing anything, we can state that we have these tags. Okay, so right inside here we will be good to go. Now we can do this. We can first, even before going very far, hide this information, from other hide the script from other browsers. Then right after that we can have stop hiding from other browsers with a single line comment, and right inside here we can have document.write, and then we can have all this information coming in here. Now in this case I see that we are supposed to have an image being centered somewhere. So the very first thing we do is to center, and then we can image source. Now currently we need to have some image inside our folder, the same folder. So what happened, I have an image of an eagle here, so the image is called as eagle, so it is a JPG file. So it's important for us to state this file format when we call it, so hoping that we're going to have it loaded. So back to our code right here, this is called as eagle.jpg. Yes, so that's the image source. So we are hoping that it's going to be picked up. So immediately after this we have our double quotes, and then we can have another dot write, and then we can have h2 is a second heading, it's a big one, and then we can say special characters, okay, and then this is a h2 on the other side, and then this can also, these two I think would finish the center tag would close here. Our very opening tag, it's being ended on this side or closed on this other side. So let me just first even tab this here so that we can see what is happening. So document.write, we have a lot of information to type. So next we can have this tag HR. Ideally it's like if you have a lot of work and you're done with talking about, let's say it's a story, you can end that work and then you begin a new, something like a new paragraph. So it's like an horizontal rule, just trying to tell us that this is the end of the story. Now we'll begin another story right after that. So we're going to have that demarcation there. Document.write, on the other hand, we can write something here again in JavaScript, and then now we can start using this special character \n. So that's a new line, \n. Is to have a new line. Good. \n. So it's supposed to write in JavaScript, and then a new line is to have a new line, something close to that, and then it will go again to another new line. And then after that we just end it with the semicolon, and then we can also have our HR tag coming in there again, and then we can have the document write again. We can talk about another escape sequence character in JavaScript, \t, and then \t is to have a tab spacing. Yep. And then we can finish that one and then have a new line coming in there. And then after that we can have this, and then we can still have our HR tag, and then of course we can always end all these lines with semicolon. Even without, it can work. We did say that last time. Then it's always good programming practice to finish it with a semicolon. And then another one is carriage inwards, so we can have document right, and then in JavaScript /r is to have the cursor jump to the next line. Okay, very interesting. And then we can have another backslash there. No, not outside. \n, and then we can have that semicolon coming in there. And then document.write, we can have HR coming in there. Now I think we're just going to see what happens in this line. So the next one is a form feed. Yes, let's have a form feed coming in there. Document.write. Okay, and then you can just type here in JavaScript, and then /b is to have a backspace. Okay, and then go to a new line. There we are. We can end this with a semicolon, and then after that we would go to document.write, and then we can have this HR coming in there, and then after that we will finish this with document.write, and then we can say right inside here backslash, and then we can say and right inside here in JavaScript, a backslash is written like that, or okay, yes. So what is happening? These quotes that are inside here in JavaScript are being illustrated using a backslash character. So the system needs to understand that no, these are quotes. So we've not come to the end of quotes, but the string has got quotes. So that's why we're using this backslash characters inside here. So it's it goes on saying is to have the sentence quoted, and then like that. Then backslash n. So what's that? 1, 2. Yeah, I think that way it's better. Now we can stop hiding, and everything, the 3 would come there and everything. So this is JS3. We're going to save our work, and then we're just going to see what happens to this. Let's see what happens. All right, okay, so at least we were trying to draw lines for every special character. So it's like in JavaScript, \n is to have a new line. In JavaScript, \t is to tab. So we can see the information being tabbed here. So in JavaScript, we have a cursor jump to the next line. So we hope that it jumped to the next line. Then JavaScript is to have a backspace. Now something needs to be done here. Then JavaScript / and a quote is to have a sentence quoted. So this is how we can quote information in JavaScript. So this special character, let me make sure that this special character comes right under here. So I can just go right here, and then we can decide to have this one special character BR coming right in there, and then saving, and then coming. Okay, now it's coming very well right under where it's required. So that is how we can start including JavaScript code into our work. Now next we need to go to the fourth program. The fourth program is an alert method. Now let's have this fourth program come up here. So what we are saying here is simple, that the alert method in JavaScript is used to alert the user, and the user would be notified that one, there is some incorrect information that has been passed. That's the first thing that can happen. So the system would jump up and give that alert or that warning. Number two, it can be used to notify a user that there is an invalid result for calculation. Apart from that, we can also get notification of an invalid or wrong button that has been pressed. And then finally, we can also use this alert method to also give friendly messages. Many times it is thought that only negative messages are used. So in this case, let's try and see if we can have a programmer that can give us an alert. So we are just going to use our program, and then we will try and see if the alert exercise would work. So alert is very important. Yes. Okay, now there we go. And then let's just, we'll have this as, let's save this one as let's save this one as js4.html, and then once that is done, we can have the HTML, then we can have the head, and have the title, and then we can say JavaScript alert method. This is either program number 4 or program number 4. And then right after that, we can have the body come in there, and then we can have the pre, meaning that we're going to have some HTML or form special characters being used in our work. And then right after that, we can talk about the script, and we can just mention the language of the script is JavaScript. Now that's very important for us, and our very first work is to bring up an alert. So alert is a function that is used to alert somebody. Now in this case, we have two options as arguments. We can have a message, if any, something close to that. You can see it right in this small thing that is popping, this small window that is popping up here. So message or any, something close to that. So we can say the message that we want today is welcome to computing sciences department. Okay, and then we can have, now going to the next line, these are two special characters, and then you say this is a JavaScript alert. Yes. So once that is done, we can end it with a semicolon, and then we can say document.write, and then we can center anything we want. So in this case, center is coming there, and then we are going to have our image coming there, image, and then we're going to have the source, and then the name is eagle.jpg. that is very important. That's the file format we saw. Be very specific with that. If it's a png, make sure you write a .png. If it's a gif, if it's a JPEG, you can say JPEG. So in this case, we saw that the file format is JPG. And then after that, we can center and close the tag. The center tag like that. So this is what has happened. We would always want to hide our script from other browsers, so we can cut this and keep it right there. Whoa, it's very, very, very interesting. Right here we can hide. Okay, let me just first do away with this. Yes. Okay, sorry. There we are. Now let's first see if this alert is coming. This JS4, let's first save it, and then let's go to our class programs. We have a JS4 right here. Once we log it, or we load it, then we okay, so this box is the alert, and it's just saying that this page says welcome to computing sciences department. This is a JavaScript alert, so it's a message that is being given to us, and we have an option of saying okay. So that's all we have, and then of course we have our message being displayed there, and in this case it was a document or an image that we loaded. So that's how alerts come. If I reload it, the alert will come. So this is a JavaScript alert. So I've just clicked OK, and then there we are. If you see the code, the alert comes first, and then after the alert is executed, then we can have this other information coming in. So that's when we have this image being loaded, and this is very important. Now we've really understood what alerts are, and then the prompt would be something close to that. Let's see here what happens. The prompt is a very important method too, that is very interactive. It enables the user to interact with the system through a dialog box, just like the alert, and then in this case it's used to engage the user, meaning now you are given the opportunity to enter some information. That's why they say there is a single line of entry field that is provided for the user, and then thereafter a button also is given to the user to click. So let's see if we can have one program that can use the prompt method. So right to our code, we can come and save this work as an HTML js5.html. Then once that is done, we can have that one come in there, and then we can talk about the head, and then we can talk about the title. Then the title, you can say Java JavaScript prompt method, and then thereafter that we can just go to the body of our work, and right in the body we can just have a script, and then don't forget to mention what type of script you're working on. It's JavaScript, and then after you specify the language, you can now you come up with this prompt. Now we'll just document.write, and then we can say here prompt. Okay, it's right inside here before even the quote, because if you put a quote there, to be assumed that that's a statement that you're writing. But now right in there you can say please, now in quotes now, so that you can say please enter your name. So that is very important. And in this case we have an option here of having the name being stored and of course being displayed, and then we can have a semicolon coming in there. So what happens, we can see if this is possible. Now let's just run this code of ours, and JS5, right? Then let's go to our folder JS5. There we are. Okay, it's right here. Okay, now what happens here, it comes and it's trying to ask us to enter the name. In this case, let me just enter my name, and then once you click OK, you see my name coming here. Now the function of this second option is to have a default name appear in the entry box. So we can remove this if we don't want anything to appear, and once that is done, once the work is saved, it can be loaded. And there's nothing going to appear in here. So once we have that one being passed like that, we would have it coming here. So that is how we can use the prompt method. That is how we can use the prompt method. So finally, we can concatenate two strings using this symbol. I believe it's possible, and you can try that one out. Otherwise, thank you.